Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night, depending on what time you're watching this next episode from me, Avomance, in the Minecraft Survival Manual that I am doing with Frilioff. We are doing Minecraft Survival Guide for you two different ways. And the further down the road we get, the more different I suspect me and Frilioff are going to be. You can see after the last episode, I have cleared a little bit of space. I've put a little bit of a frame around the house because I have to be honest, living in a box is not something anybody wants in their life. And I've also ranched out a few sheep to the left hand side because I want to be getting some wool. So I brought in a couple and I bred them up in exactly the same way as I did with the cows a couple of episodes ago. Today we're actually going to be investigating the new blocks in Minecraft 1.14. There are a number of new functional blocks. I've just got to eat something, otherwise I'm gonna die. A number of new blocks that we've got in Minecraft 1.14. I'm just going to click on the crafting table just to see if I can show you what they are. Now the ones that I'm going to show you only began in Minecraft 1.14. The stone cutter. This is a really great block. So this is the recipe. We're going to go into what they do a little bit later on. The stone cutter is there. We have got the barrel. So dead easy recipe for the barrel. We've got the smoker. We've also got the blast furnace. Not going to worry about the smithing table because it doesn't really have a function. The grindstone. Very useful tool for a little bit later on in the game. And we've got the composter and the cartography table. We're going to have a try and play with all of these today. I've started to collecting up some of the resources, but there are a few bits that I am going to need. For example, I want to get a number of iron nuggets, and we'll see why we want those iron nuggets in a little while. I also am going to want some smooth stone. Oh, I forgot about the gold that we smelted up after the last episode. That's quite useful. I'm just going to pop a couple of bits of that in there, and I'm going to just smelt up this stone, because by smelting stone, if you remember, we get smooth stone. It's another new block for 1.14. That's perfect. I need a few blocks of smooth stone. That should be enough for now. And there are a few other things that we will also need, but let's come outside because we are not going to build it there. I'm going to build myself a little tool shed, I think, because I've created myself a little bit of space. Also, the noise of those animals are driving me completely insane. So I'm just going to come up 4 high. I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 backwards. And I'm just going to build this up. That will do perfectly for now. And in front of this, we're going to start to build some stuff. I'm going to need a crafting table. So get myself 4 blocks of wood. And there is the crafting table. And that's what I'm going to be making everything in. So the first thing I want to do is I want to give myself a little bit of fancy light. And that we're going to find fancy light in our recipe book. There, we're going to make a campfire. I love these things. These are fantastic. They have a number of purposes. I'm going to take just one campfire for now, and I'm going to place this campfire right in the middle of my tool shed and in front of it a little bit right there. You place it down and it automatically is on fire, and that sends up a signal of smoke that you can see for some distance. There you see, miles away, we can still see that smoke. But the next thing we're going to do is that we're going to have some other fancy lighting. And that fancy lighting is going to come in the form of lanterns. And what I want is I actually want probably 2 lanterns. So I'm going to get 1 and 2. And those lanterns are going to get sat on, where's my fence? I'm going to put those lanterns on the outside of this shed, dangling down underneath there. Perfect, like that. So now we've got plenty of light around our tool shed. We're starting to get some of the newer blocks. It's very exciting. Let's see what we can create next. So I'm going to just pop through, literally I'm going to do this very methodically and go through the recipe book. We've got the barrel. I love the barrel. In fact, I'm going to have 2 barrels because the barrel has got 2 different looks. So let's grab a couple of barrels. They do stack, don't they? Yes, they do. Let's get the barrels into our inventory bar, and we're going to put a barrel here like that, but we're also going to put one sideways like that. So you can see it's got 2 different directions. What's really great about the barrel is it also has got an entire chest's worth of inventory space, irrelevant of which side you open. And I also quite like this fact about the barrel. I'm just going to pop this here. If this was a chest, you now couldn't open it because it's got a solid block above it. If you put a solid block above a chest, that's it, that ain't opening, it's locked. but the barrel still opens. That is an incredibly useful feature, and I can see the barrels becoming the new inventory system in Minecraft 1.14. What's next? I'm getting excited now. Now, I would like to make a cartography table, but I am yet to get any paper. Now, you can craft paper out of sugarcane. Now, I've not seen any sugarcane yet. Maybe we'll go for a wander at some point very soon and find some sugarcane. But the cartography table so far is out of my reach. But what isn't out of my reach is the blast furnace. And I can make this out of 3 smooth stone, 5 iron ingots, and a furnace. So let's have one of those fellas, which is the composter. I need one of those. I need a grindstone. I need a smoker. And I also need a stone cutter. But I've not got enough for stone cutter. What am I missing? I'm missing smooth stone. So I need to go and get myself some of that. I'll go and do that in a moment. Whilst we're here, let's lay these fellas down because this is getting quite good. So I'm just going to have them basically strewn around the place at the moment in a relatively decorative way. Now what's quite good about the grindstone is you can attach the grindstone to the side of a wall. It can also go to the top or also the floor. We're going to demonstrate these now. I've grabbed myself some stone. I'm just coming into here because I want to grab a couple of bits of food as well. You can cook food, as I say, on top of this campfire, which is brilliant. It's literally like having a cookout. Get it in your hand and just right click it on the sides there. You can see you've got 2 things cooking really quite nicely. It takes longer than cooking these in a furnace, but I think it looks far more fancy when you cook it on a campfire. It's just much nicer. This is what we're going to build now, a stone cutter, and we're going to place the stone cutter right in the middle like that, which is brilliant. See, they've just popped off and they've given us some more beef. We're going to use this composter now. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to stand on a block so you can see inside it a lot more easy. So it's empty at the moment, it's brand new. If I put some seeds in, you can see I've got a llama walking up wondering what's going on. Are you learning this, llama? This is all about composting. I'm just going to keep putting the seeds in like this, and eventually it fills up and then it goes that little white colour, and when you hit it one more time you get a bone meal. So you don't have to kill skeletons when you've got one of these fellas. That is so much easier to be able to get your bone meal. And then if you wanted to, you can lob the bone meal on the ground and it gives you a load of lovely grass and flowers in there. Nice. That's another use for bone meal. I've grabbed myself a few extra pieces of resources because there is something that I realise I haven't done yet. There it is. We're going to do a loom. Now this is quite an interesting piece of kit. One, it's got a really great texture. Let me just lay this down and you'll see what I mean. Look at that. It looks fantastic, and you can use that to craft all sorts of things because of those lines. It just looks a really nice texture. But inside it, you can start to make some quite interesting decorative items. The sun is starting to go down, but I reckon... Oh, I just stepped on the campfire. Did you see that? It started... You actually take damage when you stand on the campfire. Probably best not do that, Avomance. That would be just a little bit daft. And that is 4 pieces of wool and sticks. So that will give me 2 white banners. I also then want to get myself some dye. If I then come into the loom and I put my banner there, and I put one of my dies there. I've not got a banner pattern at the moment, so I can't do that. But you see all of these different choices. So if I wanted to click on one of those choices, let's say, for example, I decided I liked that one. I could have the George Cross, which is quite nice. If I wanted that one, I can have a nice gradient pattern. In fact, I think I might take that and then put the yellow die in there, and I get the yellow gradient pattern as well. I'll take that. So I've crafted myself a couple of banners. I'm just going to pop these banners up. If I pop that banner there and that banner there, I'll show you what banners look like when they're hung. So that's that banner and that banner. I actually quite like the gradient on those. You can make custom banners. I've not got a clue how to do that, but I know you can do it. I've got some people that know how to do that much better than me. Stone cutter. Let's come into the stone cutter. We can get cobblestone and pop it in there, and we can use that stone cutter to make slabs, steps, or a wall. So if I was to get that wall, it's going to cost me 1 piece of cobblestone to make some wall like that. Similarly, if I do a slab, 1 piece of cobblestone gives me 2 cobblestone slabs, and 1 piece of cobblestone gives me 1 piece of a cobblestone stair. I like that function. That is really nice. We've got nothing to do in the grindstone as yet because this is about repairing and disenchanting your tools, which is great. But what we can do is smoke some more food if I go and kill something. I cooked both the bits of food, didn't I? For goodness sake. Right, let's have a go. 2 bits of food, that'll probably be enough. I'm not killing any more of you, don't worry. That's a bit of a killing spree. I need to breed them back up again. So if I put that raw beef in there and I put in 1 charcoal, you can see how fast this smoker is cooking up that raw beef for me. It's going much, much quicker. In fact, it's going twice the speed of a furnace. Similarly, if I come over here, I saved some iron ore from our mining session, and that does exactly the same speed, twice the speed of a furnace to get your iron. An episode all about new blocks and crafting, and how 1.14 has brought us a load of new stuff, way more than any other previous update has, I think. If you have enjoyed this video, please remember to slap that like button. It'd be great to know you're enjoying them, and I will keep on making them. Make sure you pop over to see Frilioff too. Frilioff would love to see your opinion on his version of this video. Also, if you've not done it already, please do hit that subscribe button. It'd be great to see you in my sub club, and I look forward to seeing you in another video. You take it easy now. Bye.